in terms of mile per hour, he's a full mile an hour faster than Scott Dixon. Much as he was yesterday, he is that way so far. Now, can you keep that speed going? The little team that could. That's kind of the moniker that the Dale Coyne Racing team had with the now sadly late Justin Wilson. What Justin brought to that team a handful of years ago that eventually led to a victory on an oval track in Texas a couple of years back as well. Sebastien brings that type of passion and racing ability to this team. Lap number 2, even better, 2:31.595. Again, you can't win the pole today, but my goodness, he's flying around the race course.
This is, oh, he loses it. Oh, it's a huge shot.
My goodness. Sebastien Bourdais, as the car comes to a stop, and the fact that his hands immediately go to his visor, a wonderful sign, because any thought about potentially running for the pole, those thoughts end when you see a crash of that magnitude. And the fact that he is getting a little bit of help, but clearly moving inside of that cockpit, is an absolutely wonderful sign.
Oh, what a violent hit, Greg. That I can't believe he's moving around the cockpit. And obviously the Halmatro safety crew here, the best possible crew in racing, attending to him so quickly in that car. So now it's just a matter of safely extracting him from that car, making sure that they don't add to any potential injuries that he's got. But just a vicious hit here for Sebastien Bourdais.
Well, clearly we have a rather large debris field that we will be cleaning up for some time. So this will bring our qualification efforts to a halt. But again, that is very much a secondary concern as of now. The health and well-being of Sebastien Bourdais is our major concern, as the Halmatro safety team speaking to him as we speak. Nothing but best thoughts and wishes as his team is looking on. And my goodness, what a run he had going.
Yeah, that was looking incredible, and it just got a little bit too free on him, and he hit the angle. The angle that he hit the wall at is the worst possible, at about a 45-degree angle right up against the wall. Whew.
Obviously the safer barrier there in place. You saw the safety team checking on that just outside of turn 2. This series innovative in terms of its safety initiatives. This track helps lead the way for that. But you said it right. It was the angle and obviously the speed at which he was going. There's never anything such as a light crash, but clearly that was far from it.
Yeah, you have a lot of things helping you here in the Verizon IndyCar Series. You look up to the top of your screen where you have the safer barrier, which is basically 2 layers filled with foam. We're getting a better view of it here. Those are foam filled to take up a lot of the impact. Then you have all the carbon fiber crumple zones. You'll notice that the front wing got torn right off the car. The corners of the car got ripped right off, and we see Alexander Rossi here, his run. And this is a terrible feeling for Alexander Rossi as well, to sit there and hope that Sebastien Bourdais is all right.
So he will play the waiting game for a while, because again, they are checking the safer barrier to make sure it's okay. Then you go into cleanup mode as you see so many of the track workers out trying to clean the track as quickly as possible. Again, that is secondary right now. It is making sure that Sebastien is okay, that they can safely remove him from the race car, and that from a health standpoint, that he will be okay.
And the Halmatro safety crew always does such a good job.
And frankly, the fact that the car somewhat disintegrated in the fashion the way it did, obviously that is done trying to dissipate the impact and trying to reduce as much as you can the amount of force that was taken on that massive contact that was made in turn 2.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So the more parts that come off the car, the better.
Well, clearly best thoughts and wishes for Sebastien Bourdais and the Dale Coyne Racing team. What was a very fast qualifying run comes to an all too abrupt end. Back with more at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in just a matter of moments. Again, back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Sebastien Bourdais had turned the 2 fastest laps of qualifying attempts. He had the fastest lap in the month of May yesterday, and he was on his way towards qualifying for a potential run at pole tomorrow afternoon. That all ended on lap 3 of his run. Lost control of the car heading into turn number 2. Again, the safety crew out there virtually immediately. The ambulance there, clearly, as you can tell. And they're going to be very careful in extricating him from the car. The very positive sign that you and I noticed immediately was the fact that you saw his hands moving and going to kind of trying to up the visor and to communicate with the safety crew. Doesn't mean there still could not be some level of injury. However, you see that immediate recognition of help being there. That's a very good sign for everyone involved.
Yeah, it is indeed. But just going back to the Homatro safety crew, I mean, these guys have stayed together as one team. They travel to every Verizon IndyCar Series team together. You'll notice after any crash at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the crew is there very often within 30 seconds of the car actually coming to a halt. So there is no other crew in the business that goes about it the way that they do. And so Sebastien is in the absolute best hands possible, and we just hope he is doing okay.
So the cleanup efforts continue. And before we even start to speculate about what does Dale Coyne Racing do in terms of the 18 machine, all thoughts and concerns are with Sebastien Bourdais first and foremost. Again, what a racing resume he has put together, and we noted Formula One, Champ Car, Indy Car. He's had the opportunity of running at Le Mans, and obviously as a native Frenchman, what an honor that was for him. But clearly with the run that he was on and the speed that he has found this week, the thought in his mind was, I have a chance to win the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
And not just that, I mean, up until the last 2 races, they were leading the championship. I mean, they won at the Street of St. Petersburg. They had another few solid runs, and then it all kind of started unraveling with an engine failure here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course, and then that big turn 1 wreck at Phoenix that he was involved with. But I talked to Dale Coyne earlier this year, and I said, is this the year when you guys legitimately gun for a championship? Like you alluded to earlier with the late Justin Wilson, they got as close as they'd ever been to a qualifying run, or to a championship run. But I think this is the year when Dale said, you know what, enough's enough. I want to have it out with the big boys, and so far this year they have been just mighty impressive.
Dale has been working at this for a long, long time. And clearly one of the best drivers that has ever graced that seat for Dale Coyne Racing.
And I think his Champ Car resume, when you look at the numbers, it almost doesn't justify just how dominant he was. I mean, the guy would win on any type of track, was able to save more fuel than any other driver, would just out-qualify the field by a half a second at certain road and street courses in Champ Car. And to be honest with you, he was one of the main reasons why I wanted to move to the U.S. to be like him.
Pieces from the number 18 machine, as again, the health and well-being of Sebastien Bourdais, the largest concern right now. A change in the mood and then some here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And he just rounds turn 1, everything's looking good, but then on the entry to turn 2, you'll see the rear end just snap loose a little bit on him in the middle of the corner. He tries to correct it, and that's what places the car at such an awful angle, that 45-degree angle there. Oh.
And so often you see the impact in that corner be more of a side impact. It was not a full impact, but enough to make it a very scary moment. Cleanup continues on the back straightaway here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So what had been a flurry of activity for the last hour and 30 minutes has come to a halt. Safer barrier repair being done as we speak. Again, track cleanup taking place as we speak. And obviously our concerns are with Sebastien Bourdais. And it appears that just given the fact they are exiting the speedway in that fashion, they may be going directly to downtown Indianapolis. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with Sebastien at this time. A scary incident here in qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Very scary indeed, and thoughts also with the Dale Coyne Racing crew, who has obviously a long job ahead of them. Just look at the carbon fiber tub here. Basically, what you see left here is exactly what you want to happen. You want everything to get torn off the car except the cockpit, which is the survival cell, if you will. That's what you want to stay intact, and it did its job tremendously. You see no cracks in the tub other than where the direct impact was, so that's a very good thing to see.
And again, he is being taken directly to Methodist Hospital, and we referenced Methodist, if not by name, then by with what happened with James Hinchcliffe in the practice after qualifying 2 years ago in 2015. It has been responsible for a lot of lives saved, and of course that is outside of what happens at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but instead of going to the infield care center, they're going to go directly downtown, which that ambulance ride will not take that long, but clearly it will feel like an eternity for those that have, you know, concerns for Sebastien and all up and down the IndyCar paddock. It might be tough to focus for these remaining 14 drivers that will attempt to qualify for the Indianapolis 500 today.